What's up, man?
How's it going?
Hey, it's living the dream, brother. So got Devin Belt, new Marshall County High School baseball head coach. Welcome to the show with Coach T.O. I think this is going to be a good opportunity to just let people meet you. I know y'all did a meet and greet the other night, but this is going to be a lot more of a kind of an informal setting. So, yeah, just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Like I said, I love doing this kind of stuff. Love talking. It's been awesome. Everybody's been so nice and welcoming. And I told you off air, I was blown away with how many people showed up to the meet and greet. And I come over from Crittenden County, born and raised Crittenden County guy. Played baseball there, basketball, golf. And then I went to SIC for a little bit, kind of hurt my arm, tweaked it a little bit, and then really just I gave up baseball and went directly into coaching. And my mentor, Chris Evans, kind of got me into it and started coaching some travel ball. And then next thing you know, I'm the head coach of the Rockets, and it's just been building towards this. And but man, I am overly excited for the opportunity and ready to get to work with these guys.
Well, first things first there, you said you were surprised at the amount of people. I'm not. I grew up here, and me and you had kind of talked, I think maybe on the phone or whatever about how you were born and raised in Crittenden County. I was born and raised here. It's a great community, man, and that's why, for a young guy to come in here and take control of the program, dude, I'm pumped for you. Because you get it. You get the kind of the small town vibe. But this is a lot bigger, right? And we kind of talked about that. It's going to be different, but it's all the same, dude. It's high school baseball. It's kids. It's supportive families. It's a good. You're in a good situation here, and I'm just excited to see you go.
Yeah, no, and that's like tonight. We played Crittenden County, the old school in football. And like I showed up, and it's like, holy cow! Like this place is packed. And it was awesome to see, and it was awesome to interact with a lot more people there too. Like. A lot of people started to recognize me, were coming up, talking to me, introducing me, and everything, and got to watch the game, and it was sweet, and just seeing how supportive they are, and it's awesome, and that's like you said, at the end of the day, the baseball part's it's baseball, and so I'm excited to get to meet these guys and work with them, and I'm looking forward to really starting to do some stuff this fall and get going.
Yeah, it's good that you're getting involved early. So how'd the football game go? How'd it turn
Marshals
out?
won, man. Yeah, Marshals won. It was a really good game. It was a lot of offense, a lot of scoring, especially early. I think the first 4 drives, both teams scored, and Crittenden kind of ran out a little steam there at the end. Marshall kind of put it away, but. It was a great game, and it was so weird sitting on the other side. Like Crittenden County through and through, and like I'm sitting over here in Orange and just watching the game. And what's funny is 2 of my best friends called the game for the radio, and I look up behind me, and they're in the announcer's booth, and they're just like looking at me like, "What are you doing?" But it was awesome. It was cool to see, and get to catch up with some people and meet some new people.
Yeah. Have you had the opportunity to meet Coach Bloodworth?
No, I've not met Coach yet.
Man, he's great. He very high energy. He's exactly what that program needed, and I'm excited for him, man. I think it's gonna be fun. My daughter's a sophomore, so we're gonna be going to the games and stuff. And like I told you when you got the job, I'm still in the community. Like I'm gonna be at your games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
So it's I support those guys. Nick is an awesome dude. Came from Tillman.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good about him. Tillman's football coach was one of my good friends from Crittenden, Sean Thompson.
Okay.
And another good friend of mine, Brian Qualls, he went down to help Tom, and they just both raved about, like that was the perfect hire for Marshall. Like he's going to do a great job there and help build them. And I saw tonight, like they were disciplined. They had maybe 1 or 2 penalties, and you could just tell like they got back to they running the football well and throwing it well and had some good things schemed up. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get to watch them some more.
Yeah. He with Coach Nick, man. We've always had athletes at Marshall. I mean, we've always had the athletes. That's never been an issue. And I think with football, just here recently, it's been more about kind of culture. And I think what he's done is he's came in and he's helped them believe that they can win. And we kind of talked about that with McCracken and our guys. I can tell you, you can't convince those boys that they can't beat McCracken now.
That's awesome.
And it's funny talking to guys from McCracken because they know it.
That's
hey, they know it, but. It's good, man. So yeah. So a couple other things that you mentioned there. So you played at Crittenden County, born and raised. Then you went to SIC.
Yeah.
So who was the coach at SIC when you were there?
Rollback.
Okay.
Yeah, Rollback was there. I think he was really early on though.
Yeah.
It was
had to have been.
Yeah, it was like his first few years, and I was like the recruiting process for me was rather unique because obviously when you're at a small school, it's even harder to really get noticed, and so. It was kind of one of those things. I played golf, and I was okay at golf. I mean, nothing crazy, but I had a little bit of interest in golf. Played basketball. Obviously, like around here, I'm a center. But you go to college, like I'm 6'5", like that's a 2-guard now. Like it's just it's so like I'm not a wing.
A guard.
Exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so like I was like I know I'm not going to play basketball. Baseball is my thing. It's what I love to do. And, I kind of I went up to Lexington and had Asbury and Georgetown and a bunch of those schools up there were interested in me and just kind of weighing all the options. And, man, to be honest with you, I was, like, really young for my age and I was just not mentally ready there, And just going through that whole process, like, my family had never really done that either. Like, I have an older brother, but he didn't really, like, he played sports and stuff like that, but he knew he was going to college to go to college, and it wasn't really like that. And so it was the first experience for us all. And, looking back on it, I kind of wish I probably would have went a different route. But at the same time, everything happens for a reason. If I hadn't went to there and stopped playing and started coaching, I wouldn't be sitting here, And so, everything happens for a reason. But as far as the college side of it, like Coach Hodge, Dennis Hodge, I don't know if you know him. He's one of the greatest men you'll ever meet. He was my coach basically from the time I was probably 3 all the way through high school. He's a great guy and. He went to SIC for 2 years and then transferred to EKU and played. And so he really was pushing me towards going that route because he's like, you're coming from a small school. You're not going to walk into a huge university. You're going to be there and, you're going to get to go 2 years. And he's like, I think you really have a shot to go there 2 years, develop a little bit, and then transfer to a D1. He's like, I think you have that capability. And so that's kind of the route we went. But the thing with me was like, I didn't love it going in. Like, it was more like I was doing this for someone else rather for myself. And that's when I kind of look back on it. But at the same time, it's like I said, everything happens for a reason, and it couldn't have really worked out better for me because, like I said, I kind of got into coaching and then got to do what I love now. And then now I'm taking on this next step and challenge. So it's crazy how, you can look back on something and it's like, it's time you're like, what's going on? But now it's, okay, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, so I went to Wren Lake.
Okay.
So I'm familiar, with SIC with Jeremy.
Yeah.
He's still there.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He's still holding it down.
It was cool. Last year, we went over to SIC and like I needed a game really bad. It rained everywhere, and I saw this thing where you could play over there. It was like $150, and you could bring your high school team.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was like in turf field, and he was like, let's play. They want to play. So we picked up with Pope County, Illinois, and went over there one afternoon, and everything around us got canceled, but we got to go play. And it was kind of cool full circle, me coming back coaching and getting to see him and talk to him and stuff. And so, we still have a good relationship and everything, and it's been good. He's recruited I had a few guys go play for him and stuff like that. So it's been good. But yeah, no, he's still holding it down over there for sure.
Man, I don't remember. I don't remember any of it because you're 30.
Oh, I'm 29.
You're 29.
Yeah, just turned 29.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think if I knew of anybody that went through there, but I know SIC, he has really done a good job of building that program and that sort of stuff. But, you kind of touched on something there that I thought was interesting. You said you felt like you were doing it for somebody else and stuff like that. Man, I think college does that.
Yeah.
College does that because, you go through high school and you think you love it.
Yeah.
Then you get to college and you realize I might love something else about this.
I love the game of baseball, but and I didn't love everything that went involved with it.
Yeah.
And especially the big adjustment for me was I played at Crittenden, small school. If I'm not pitching, I'm playing first base or third base, and I'm hitting 3-hole. And then all of a sudden you get over there, and it's like, okay, I'm a PO. Okay, you're gonna run and then run some more, and then throw a little bit, and then you're gonna shag fly balls, and it's like this ain't even base, And it's like it's such a different world, and it was those challenges alone too with it, but just being from such a small town, all of a sudden, not the Harrisburgers or anything big or anything, but it's like all of a sudden now I graduated at 17. I had been 18 maybe for like a couple weeks whenever I went to school, and it's like now all of a sudden I'm here trying to figure all this out myself and like trying to balance like going to class and doing all that stuff along with the baseball side of it. And it's like I love the game, and it's now one of those things where you look back and it's like if I would have known half of what I know now, it would be completely different, Or even like the opportunity you're providing with the, if I would have had a year to just go and mature a little bit and do things would have been completely different. But at the time, you don't know those things, you just go through it. And like I said, I think it helped me to be honest, because coaching is what I love doing more than anything, and so it really opened that door. Because I mean, it was probably a couple months after I was done playing, I already started coaching. There was a guy, he runs our local newspaper, Chris Evans. He's like I probably already mentioned him, but he's done so much for me, and his kid Ben he was probably they were 9U, 10U, something like that, and the class above him was really loaded, and they had a travel team called the Marion Bobcats, and he was like, "Why don't you just come out to practice?" And I was like, "Man, I don't know. That's I don't know. I went to one practice and just fell in love with it, and boom." And next thing you know, I'm there all the time, heading to tournaments, and just the full 9 yards, and I'm 18 years old, and so I kind of got a jump start on that and just coached those guys all the way up, and that was such a cool experience. Watching those kids grow and develop, and their senior year we win the All-A. We get to go to the the Elite Eight of the state for Class A and get to experience all these things and watch them grow. And it also helped me become a better coach because at the time those kids looked up to me because they'd seen me play, and stuff like that. And then I grow as a coach because I'm so close in age to them. But I have to learn how to, handle that relationship and make it where it's like I'm still the coach, and I give props to all those kids because they were all such great kids, and they always respected me. But they helped me grow so much as a coach. And then whenever they left, it was like, okay, I've never coached a baseball game without those guys on the field. I've never coached a game without Chris Evans on first base, and so it's like. That helped me become a better coach too, because now I had to learn how to go through that process, and so all those things kind of work together, and it was it was really cool. And like I said, it probably wasn't the best overall thing, but it worked out and became the best possible.
Yeah, and kind of a similar situation with me. I mean, I did love playing. I loved the day-to-day grind of it, just the good days, the bad days. I did love it. But as my career started to close, kind of same with you, like I realized that my passion was coaching. And to go kind of even a little bit further into that, not necessarily on-field coaching, I just loved passing my passion for the game on and seeing, like it gives me goosebumps even talking about, which is so cheesy, but it is what it is. But like seeing a kid that's 7, 8, 9 years old that thinks that they're going to go play in the major leagues, just loving the game. They're freaking coming out there. They're decked out. They're ready to go. You can't tell that kid that he's not the best one out there. Like, I love that. And I love, as they get older, seeing that development, both socially, mentally, physically, athletically, all the way across the board. I love it. And that's, as hard as it was for me to walk away from high school, my passion, man, is in the development aspect of it. I love watching the kids. I love it. And I love helping the high school kids. I'm not trying to diminish that at all, but I just think it's different at the younger ages, and I loved it. But, I think I still have the opportunity with the Lake area stuff to continue seeing that, right? And I genuinely think that, getting a guy in here that wants to continue the program and be the best and stuff like that, like, it's going to benefit you as well, 100%. And area schools as well. But yeah, man, I love it. I love to hear kind of how your passion derived. I love it, and I'm happy to have you here, man. I think it's good to have you here. There's some things that I have been that, hey, you got to ask this guy this. You've got to ask this guy this. So number one is, and not to try to catch you off guard or nothing, or put you on the spot, but hey, listen, if you don't know yet, just say, hey, listen, dude, I don't know yet.
No,
still working through it.
Away, man.
So It is currently August 22nd. You guys are full-fledged in middle school. I know you've been going to middle school games and supporting those young guys, and what an athletic, talented group that is.
Awesome.
But what is the plan for those high school guys, in the fall leading into winter, and then obviously into February? And you're gonna have a lot of guys obviously that are multi-sport guys, basketball/football. But kind of what's on the agenda for moving forward into the off-season stuff?
Yeah, so I'm still figuring a lot of that stuff out. The cool thing is that I've never really had this opportunity before because, at Crittenden, it's like football is a big thing. So you got a lot of kids that play football. If not, they're in basketball. If not, they're in something else. And so when I try to do fall stuff there, it's like I'd maybe have 2 or 3 kids.
Yeah.
Maybe one that actually specialized in baseball, and so it was really hard to even do anything. And so now, like, I'm so excited to get these guys on the field and start maybe doing some inter squads and start, going and doing that. Obviously, we had to work around the middle school because I'm huge on development from your feeder program and stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm hoping to get started sooner rather than later. I know fall break is kind of a time where some people start to do stuff right after that, but I'm going to be subbing and stuff at the high school and middle school and stuff like that. And so hopefully anytime I'm sub, I'm going to go ahead and open it up for anybody to come because I want to get eyes on them too. As much as it's been awesome to see these middle school guys, like I'm ready to see some of my high school guys and what I got to work with because, I've went and studied and looked back on, last year's stats and some of that stuff, and you get time to dive into Game Changer and see. And it was good to actually put some face to some stats and stuff the other day at the meet and greet. But, it's different when you get out there and actually see them and start coaching them up and developing and doing some stuff. And but, I plan to do, at least probably a couple of days a week of open gym, whatever you want to call it, for baseball, open cage. And try and get out there and hit a little bit, throw a little bit. And hopefully, like I said, if we have the numbers, which I think we will, be able to do is like some type of inter squad and different things like that. And just keep them going and keep building on the momentum. And that's one thing, like playing in high school, we played Marshall some, and I've always respected the program. And even coach, I got to coach against them that year that we were really, really good. We come over here, and I believe it was the older Oakley brother pitched against us in a 1-0 gym. It was like 1-1.
Really?
Yeah, it was like 1-0, 1-1. And it was a great game. And we really, as the coach of Crittenden at the time, I thought we had him, and he was shoving and pitched well. And we had a guy, Tyler Boone, who went to Murray State, played football. He was on the mound, and it was like one of those pitcher's duels. Great game. And I've just always respected the program. And so I'm just, I'm so ready to get in here and get to work and try and build on it. Obviously, that's anybody's goal. You want to do better and build it up and keep building on it. And like how, you're talking about, the boys aren't scared of McCracken. Like, I want to be that team that everybody's scared of. I want to be that team that, they know when they got Marshall on the schedule, they're like, it's going to be bad no matter what. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be tough. And, that's something that I felt like I built at Crittenden was, my favorite compliment that I got was, 2 or 3 times I had a team that, we were around 500. We were just competing. And we made a run to the All-A championship. And, after that game, I had all 3 umpires come over and they were like, Coach, like, you had those guys ready. They played hard, and it was like, you could just see, you may not have the same talent that somebody else did, but, like, your guys compete for you. Yeah. And that's, like, the biggest compliment that you can give a coach. I love hearing that my guys play hard for me. And, that's something that I told them they're not in the meet and greet. Like, I'm going to let you guys know what you can expect from me, and I'm going to let you know what I wanted to expect from you. And so I try and show that emotion, try and show that passion, and I hope that it bleeds to the players, and they show that back. Yeah.
Well, you've got an incredible group. You've got an incredible group of players, a great group of families. So you have everything that you need. I think, we were kind of talking earlier about the forecast and what to expect and stuff with this group coming back. The biggest thing lost from last year, just really now from the outside looking back in, is you lose a lot of hits. Cash Childs went to Vincennes. I think he ended up hitting right around 400. Clayton Wyatt was a lockdown defender, one of the best catchers I have ever coached. He's at Brescia now. That doesn't have anything to do with hits, but man, his impact behind the plate was incredible. And then you had like Maddox Cope, and you had a lot of those guys that did really well, and helped out in multiple ways. But you've got really good underclassmen and guys, upperclassmen too, that can step up and fill those voids. And, you don't – one thing that is unheard of is I don't think you lost a single inning on the mound, which is huge.
And that's probably one of the things that excites me the most is I'm a pitching guy. Like I love teaching pitching. I love, watching pitchers, and I read stuff all the time. And that's like one of my true loves in the game of baseball is pitching. And so hearing that, I know we talked kind of about that before, and go looking at the stats, it just like fires me up. Like I'm ready to get these guys on the bump and watch them, and hopefully help even take them maybe to the next level. But obviously that's something that you're going to have that every year. You're going to have some turnover and changes. And one thing that really excites me about this is I love competition. I love making every drill and practice competition. I love kids competing against each other, and having the numbers now to where you can do that. I think it only will help. And so hopefully some of those guys, like you said, I think there's 8 or 9 seniors this year. Hopefully those guys will come in and ready to work, and will help compete and build that up and step into those spots. And that's like you said. I think if we can do that and we can get some of that key guys replaced, we have a chance to be really dangerous in a team that people don't want to see.
Yeah, and I don't know if you had the opportunity to see or look back at how our season ended last year. But we had McCracken beat in the was it the quarterfinal?
I think it was. I think I did see that score.
Yeah.
I think it was. Yeah.
I think it was it had been the quarterfinal. So we had them down. It comes down to a missed bunt and a botched first and third defensive play, and they end up taking it. And so I say that to say that these guys are hungry, and I think that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with this year, and you've got the pitching staff to back it up. You've got some young, eager kids to come in and make an impact. And this is the most beautiful thing, man. You've got really good kids coming in for years. And that's such a beautiful thing for a high school coach to see. Is it's like, man, you've got a good team this year. You're gonna have a good team next year. The team, and you're only gonna make them better. And that's, I think that kind of brings me to my next question. Actually, weird segue, but have you hired assistant coaches? Do you know what you're doing with that yet, or where are you at with that?
Not 100%. I've talked to multiple people, and I'm hoping to have that decision sooner rather than later. But just with the transition of me coming in and everything. That's something that I've not got to work through yet. I'm still in the process of going through all the paperwork side of things with the board office and stuff. So hopefully going to finish up that this coming week, and then hopefully then I can go ahead and start, adding in some coaches and stuff like that. But everybody that I talk to is very hungry and eager to work, and that's what I want to surround myself with is guys that that love the game too. You got to love it at this level. And that's something that I've always been blessed with, is I've always had a great support staff. And I've always been able to get some guys that come in and help. And I'm excited, even here on a larger scale, to get a couple guys that come in here and know ball, and most importantly, care about the kids, care about building the program, having the same vision that I do. Because as you know, it's about who you support yourself with.
100%.
So, I'm excited to get to meet some of these guys and build with them and work with some new coaches. Because, like I said, I work with Chris and some of those guys pretty much every year. And, it was cool. Even this past year, I had one of my former players come and start helping me. And it was cool to see him kind of grow in that role. And so that's the cool part. And but no, I've not officially named anybody or have anything happen yet, but I'm hoping to in the next couple of weeks. That way we can get rolling, because obviously can't do it by myself. So you got to have good help. So you've got to get some good help surrounding you, and I think from the people I've talked to and things, I think we're going to be in a good situation.
Yeah, that's good, man. So kind of flashing back, you said talking about off-season workouts and things like that. You mentioned that at Crittenden you might have 2 or 3 guys.
Yeah.
You're gonna have 26.
That's
in the fall.
It was cool in the meet and greet. You know, they were coming through, and I would ask them like, you know, what's your name, grade, sports you play, stuff like that. And there was, like you said, there was a couple that played football, a couple that played a little bit of basketball, but a bunch of them were like, I just play baseball and I'm ready to get to work. You know, and it was so cool to see.
They wanted you to know that.
Yeah, they wanted me to know that. And I do too,
dude.
man.
Yeah,
and
let's go.
It was, you know, and it
Let's
was
go.
the funniest thing was, like I said, I've been, you know, to probably a handful of middle school games now.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of I guess they're incoming freshmen. They can't still play, but
Yeah.
they have siblings or cousins on the team. And
probably Cooper Johnson. He's a catcher.
Yeah,
Deacon Smith.
So. Yeah, and it was one of them was it was the only time I seen him there was at a home game, and they had just come to watch and stuff. Well, you know, they all started coming up, introducing themselves to me and stuff like that, and it was just cool watching them. Well, the first one come up, and I was like, "Where do you play at?" And he was like, "Well, you know, I can kind of play anywhere." And I was like, "That's what I love to hear, positional flexibility." Then they started coming in. They're like, "I'm like, where you play? Anywhere. I'll play wherever you want." And I'm like, I just love that attitude. You know, like I love that they're just ready. They're hungry and ready to play. And that's, you know, and that fires me up too.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, y'all don't know how excited I am and ready to get to work.
Yes.
Like, I love that. I love baseball players that, you know, are like that. I don't have to play here or there. Like, I'll do whatever it takes to win. That's the attitude you want as a coach, you know.
Yeah. You can't teach hunger, man.
You can't.
You cannot do it. And, you know, that is something that these kids have. And, you know, that freshman group, they are solid. And the 8th grade group coming up behind them is really solid. And then the group behind them, then you've got a group of like 9-10-year-olds that are coming up. I'm telling you, dude, it's you've got a really good thing going.
That's
watching,
so
it'll be good.
You know, watching these middle school guys has been awesome to me. Because like Crittenden, that's one thing I am proud of is that, you know, we're now going to have a middle school team.
Yeah.
And like I got to help start that right before I left, you know, because that's something that program needed was something to get those kids, because we would lose several from that transition from rec ball to middle school, or because it was technically a freshman team, so it was 7th to 8th freshmen. So that 6th grade group kind of got lost unless you go play travel ball, like you were out of luck. So doing that, but watching these guys, man, like there's some serious talent in there, and it's like I got to watch a game over at Lyon County the other night, and our left fielder, like third play of the game, kid hits a line drive. I mean, you got to read like a pro guy would get on this ball, tracks it down, run, dive and catch, save a couple runs. Like it's like this kid's an 8th grader. You know, it's like it's awesome. You know, I'm like this is awesome. Like watching him read and then come over and tell me like I had the perfect jump on it, I saw it, and like talking me through it, I'm like, you're firing me up, man. Like, this is awesome. And hearing that from your younger guys, it's like, you know, and it's really good to, obviously, you know, I'm sure we're not going to be the same coach. Like, there's going to be different verbiage and stuff like that. But these kids are so receptive to it. And, like, anytime I start talking, they're quiet, they're listening. And, like, I got to talking to them the other day. They were kind of just, a few of them were just kind of like, which especially in middle school age, just standing and watching a little bit at times, like not down and ready at the pitch. And I'm big on like I like a 1-2 hop step when the pitch is being thrown, just locking you in. Talk to them about that, and then I see them as they're warming up for the second game. That younger, they're practicing it, you know, and it's just like that is so huge, you know, because I talk to them about like coachable and accountability are two big things with me. Like you got to be coachable, and you know you got to be receptive. You got to hold yourself accountable. And all those things, but it was just so cool watching that age group already start doing that. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to get on the field with these older guys and start doing some stuff with them, and you know, seeing that interaction grow. Yeah,
it's man, that was one thing I was actually talking to Zach, because my assistant coach last year, I actually work with him now, so we still talk about a lot of things, and you know, that was one of the things that we really pounded the last couple of years was accountability and guys holding each other to a higher standard and that sort of stuff. So, you know, I think it would be interesting to have you back on once you really get a good grasp for the high school kids, because I think you're going to be thoroughly impressed with the level of maturity that these guys have, and their desire to win and that sort of stuff. And, you know, I think it sounds to me like you're going to be exactly what they need, you know, somebody that's going to come in and I think when you have a strong passion for the game, it bleeds through, you know, and I kind of feel that from you, you know, and that's That's why I really wanted to have you on, because I wanted to meet you as a person. You know, we've texted and we talked back whenever you were at Crittenden. And you know, a lot of times we were scheduling freshman games and things like that. But I think I tried to schedule you a couple times when we got rained out. I'm like, dude, come down here or something. Come on. Man. Yeah, we got rained out 7 games over spring break. You know, but. That's another one for you. So be thinking about what you're gonna do for spring break.
Yeah, no, it's a lot, man. It's awesome.
Lot.
It's awesome though. I love it.
It's a good problem to have, man. You've got active parents that want to be involved and want to have a great experience for the kids.
That's huge.
That's it. At the end of the day, that's all it is. You know.
But even touching on your point with, you know, as far as like the players being accountable, you know, that was something this year that, you know, the players. It's a short season, but it's a long season because you're playing so much, and you know you're gonna get tired of hearing my voice. You're gonna get tired of because you know, and I tell the boys, and I told them already at the middle school, like you're gonna hear me say the phrase "little things" probably a million times. Like I always harp on the little thing. You do the little things right. That's what separates a good team from a great team. And you know you have to have that players that will hold each other accountable. You got to be a good teammate and. You know, and I'll give him some props and shout out. I don't know if he'll listen to this or not, but, you know, I was talking about him off air. Quinn Summers, he was a quarterback for the Crittenden. He did such a great job this year of being that leader, being that voice up the middle, playing short. And, you know, and like you said, having kids that are going to do that, that makes me so excited to hear because I like for players to lead because the kids will respond to each other just as much sometimes. You know, like they
a lot of times more.
A lot of times more, yeah. You know, they get that, you know, get to coach, you know, but – it's been awesome, and that makes me excited to hear that, you know, and I'll definitely have to come back on and we'll have to once I kind of get into it and everything.
No doubt, dude. Yeah, no doubt. So, all right, so you're coming from small town Crittenden, Marion. Real quick side note, you know Alex Wood?
Oh yeah, Woody.
I love that dude.
He was a stud.
Hey, he was my roommate.
Really?
Yes.
Small world. Yeah.
Hey, you'll have to ask him. Hey, what do you think about T.O.?
Yeah, I will. I see him at the golf course stuff sometimes.
So Woody, and he probably doesn't know this, but I attribute him and my other roommate Gavin Petrie for getting me to college, because when I was in high school. There wasn't a whole lot of options. Man, I didn't even know what junior college was. Nothing. And a parent ended up hooking me up with JUCO. Well, coming out of JUCO, I'm still humble pie, man. I didn't know what I was going to do, whatever. Well, Alex threw gas. He was coming off of a shoulder injury. I think he had GERD or something. Hopefully that's not a HIPAA violation. But he had like glenohumeral internal rotation something. And he fought it. Well, he ended up signing at Indianapolis. He was a Division I level arm.
Oh, dude.
No doubt.
Stud.
But he signs at Indianapolis. So they come down, they recruit him. Obviously, they want him. He had a hammer slider. At that point, he was like 89, 91, I think, something like that. Well, then my other buddy from Wren Lake was a soft throwing lefty. He was like 83, 84 with a nasty changeup. Well, I'm just a third baseman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was an above average sized third baseman at that point. And they signed Alex, they signed Gavin, and then kind of threw me a bone.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, so I almost walked on. Like I was almost walking on. Well, I ended up having an incredible season. They ended up throwing me a bone and giving me some money, but they would have never been interested in me at all if it hadn't been for those two guys. And I have told that story in a different version of that story to like let kids know, dude, you don't ever know who's watching you. You never know.
Yep.
And even though they're not there to see you, they may like you. So your body language, how you present yourself before and after the game, how your body language during the game, it all plays into it.
Most of the time, I've had college coaches even tell me this, you know, talking about recruiting. They want to see you strike out and how you respond. They want to see you after you make an error. You know, like that's almost just as important as, you know, because what you're going to see on Twitter or Facebook or wherever, you're not posting you getting K'd up or, dropping a ball. Like,
Yeah.
you're only posting your hits. You're only posting your good stuff. So, like, how you respond, and, because baseball is such a mental game. And
Yeah.
it's the hardest game in sport. Cliche, you fail 7 out of 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's baseball's such a mental game, and so it's so important because you just never know. And that coach may not be there to see you, but he sees how you respond, and or vice versa. He may 100%. Be there to see you and watch you throw a temper tantrum and watch you throw your helmet back on the way to the dugout, and he's done with you. So, but you want to hear some good Alex Wood stories?
Oh, I would love to.
Okay,
Let's
go.
I
got 2 that I'm thinking. So he would have been a senior when I was like 6th or 7th grade, and 2 stories, and I may get them wrong, but it's just how I remember them. Because one of them I wasn't there for. One of them I was. So, like, he obviously was a stud in high school. I mean, he was our ace. And, like, we had a really good squad then. The grade behind him was, like, we had 9 seniors that were all played travel ball their whole way up, stayed together like studs. And he was playing, like, advanced PE dodgeball in Rocket Arena. And, like, he goes, and this is from the story, he jumps down basically a flight of stairs just to try and hit this dude in the face and, like, falls, lands on his hand, like, broke a bone in his hand, couldn't pitch. PE teacher was our baseball coach. Lost it. No one got to play advanced dodgeball for the rest of the year. Like, for the next 2 years, he's like, no baseball players are allowed to play.
So that is so funny.
But it's just him too. And he was like freaking out, like, don't tell coach. Like, you just don't, and it was awesome.
I love it, dude.
I remember him coming out of the cage, and I think I even maybe ended up throwing to him. But, like, I'm like a 7th, so, like, the chance to throw to him, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, he's just hitting, like, I feel like he's hitting good. Well, like, we had this old small cage there by the field, and, like, for whatever reason, and, like, when you walk out, there's a little concrete slab. I don't know if they just, like, poured a little bit there, like, as they were done or whatever. But he, like, I guess he thought he hit bad, comes out of there and throws the bat down, pops up, hits him right in the mouth.
Oh,
and,
my
like,
God.
Dude, you talk about and, like, it was just being him. Like, it was so funny.
That's the most Alex Wood thing I've
I know.
ever
And
heard.
he comes up and he was like, he was on the mound that day too, and he's like bleeding. It's just like, it's just him. But he was awesome. He was a stud, man.
Yeah.
He was a stud.
Oh, I got a good one. This one would probably embarrass the crap out of him. But so we're living together in Ina, and the new Mortal Kombat game comes out. For I think it was like whatever we had at that point, it was like Xbox 360 or something. Well, he's in his room, and this man is. Do you play video games?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay,
for sure.
so he's studying these moves. He's got the button combinations down, and he's locked in. And I'm in there, and I'm either watching TV or just chilling, playing something else or whatever. I'm like, hey, why don't you come in here and let's play? Let's go. And he's like, you don't want none of this. And I'm like, all right, let's play. He's like, dude, I know all these moves now. I'm like, let's go.
Okay.
So he goes in there, and like the button crashers, like that's all I was doing. I was like joystick twitching and just hitting buttons, and I was rolling him. And he was getting so mad, he's cussing at me. He's like, dude, quit just pressing buttons. Well, I kept going. Eventually, I beat him like 7 times in a row. You know how much those Xbox controllers are? Yeah. He takes it, and as hard as he throws it into our wall, and it just disintegrates.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And, oh, my God, dude. I laughed so hard. And that was just Alex, man. He was a competitor.
Oh, dude. He was a gamer, too.
Like, yeah. And, I think, so he ended up going, he played 2 years, I think, at Indy. And I can't remember if he just timed out or if maybe it was an injury.
Yeah.
But I think he's doing well now.
Yeah.
I think he's married.
Yeah, I think he's a lineman or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen him out at the golf course stuff. I tried for years to get him to come on.
I need to get him on.
Oh, that would be a good episode.
That would be good.
But I tried for years to get him to come on. He was like, man, I would love to. I just don't have the time with my work schedule and everything. But he was one that I always wanted to get involved because, like I said, whenever I was 6th, 7th grader, like I thought he was going MLB because like it was just I watched him throw no hitter. Like he was a stud, man.
Yeah.
And he was a great dude too. He wasn't one of those older guys that was a jerk. Like
no.
He would always talk to you and like I mean I appreciated the time that I got to play with him. I mean I wasn't really playing because I was so young, but like just watching him and watching how he worked, watching how he warmed up, like helped me make my routine, all those type things because he was a great dude and he was a stud, man.
Yeah. I got one more, and then we'll
Yeah.
move on.
No.
But now it's jogging old memories, and you know the kid, so it makes it even funnier. So we had a regional tournament game at Rim Lake, and we're like we're gonna go to sleep early. We're gonna wake up. We're gonna get our stuff together. Whatever. We're gonna be productive, right? So we both take melatonin. We go to sleep at like 9:00. We wake up to our head coach pounding on our door, and I just hear like off in the distance this pounding on the door. Well, Alex's room was right beside the door. He opens up the door. By that time, I've come out of my door. I look down the hallway. I'm in my, like, I sleep in my boxers.
Yeah.
Alex, I think, was in his boxers coming out of his room. So we're both just standing there, and I make eye contact with the head coach, and I'm like, oh my God. So we both go get our clothes out of the dryer because we had washed our uniform, and we both load the bus that's sitting in our front yard in our boxers and get dressed on the bus. Why that coach came and picked us up and didn't just leave us, I will never know.
Yeah.
But, dude, it was so funny just looking back and thinking about how me and him were freaking out.
Yeah,
and then the coach apparently told people later that he was laughing his tail off afterwards.
But I bet he was. But at the time, he's probably like having to do that. But
we're trying to do everything right.
Exactly. I mean, y'all were trying to do the right thing, go to bed early, but it's just like
Oh man, that's funny.
Awesome.
All right, so the whole reason I got off on that tangent. So you're coming out of Crittenden County, small town USA. You're coming to Marshall County. What's the one thing that makes you the most excited about it?
Man. Honestly, like facilities,
yeah,
like going around and getting to see like the field and like having access to, all the Tragmans and the Rapsodos, Rapsodos, and just I love that kind of stuff, and it's stuff that I'd wish for and tried to get. We got a hack attack the first time like this past season, and like it helped so much, and being able to have those resources and all those type things, and and having the numbers, like that's awesome to me. Like I love having talent, I love competition in those things. So that's probably the most exciting thing. And really, like our schedule this year is going to be a tough one. Like it's first weekend we have to go to PRP's big tournament, and like I know we're going to see some good competition.
Yeah.
And, a couple other, and like just kind of the way the schedule worked. Like it's going to be tough. But like I'm so excited for that. Like I want to go play because like that's something Crittenden like. Unless we had a really, really, really good squad, like it was going to be tough to go play some of that, competition, just with the numbers we had. And so it's like being able to be invited and stuff like that. That's just awesome. And that's, that excites me. Like I'm ready for big time games, big time moments because like those, I love it, dude. I love it. That's that gets me fired up.
And you'll compete, man.
Oh,
You're gonna go. You'll go up to Louisville and you'll compete.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I want. I want it. I want the boys to compete too. And I love it. I will tell you one funny story on me. We were playing in I think it was the first round of region, or maybe in the district championship over at Line, and it was like probably my first year as a coach. I'm out there hitting fungo. Well, my fungo I had at the time was like an outfield, was a little skinny. Well, it was like I could launch a ball with it, and we get out there, and it's Lyon County, I think where we were at, and it's like that adrenaline's going for me too. Like I'm ready to get this thing going, and I come up and I'm like, let's go two. I throw that thing up, and I feel like I barely make contact with it. And I launched that sucker like so far out of the and I was just like, okay, we got to calm it back down now, But that's the same thing. I love that. I love the big games, man. Yeah. That's the fun part. And so now to be there and get to compete in them all, that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, that's the part I'm gonna miss.
Dude,
I'm gonna miss the. Dude, I used to get so fired up before games. I will miss that. I'll figure out a way. I'll figure out a way to still get that fixed, whether it's with my 16U girls that I'm coaching or 17U boys or whatever it may be. There is nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And I remember when my playing days stopped and I went through a period of time that I didn't even want to see a baseball. That's what I missed. Yeah. I missed the competitive juices that were flowing and I think as a coach that's what you should crave is those big moments and keeping a level head when the game is crazy. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So this is a tougher question now.
Okay.
So that's what gets you excited. What's the thing that makes you the most nervous?
Nervous. Let's think. What makes me the most nervous? I would say it's probably honestly just the new environment. Just not knowing people, not having a feel for everybody and stuff like that. That probably is what makes me nervous. I'm usually not a guy that gets very nervous. Like I've always, I guess that's cliche, but I've never really been someone like I love the big moments. I love the pressure. Like my buddies give me a hard time because we're scrambling or playing golf. Like I like to be the last guy to go on the 4-man. I like when they all three have a bad shot because then I got it before. I love that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I love that. Like I love when I got to step up and be that guy. So it's funny.
Like. I'm always the guy that goes first. It's like, hey, let me give you a line. Let me give you a line.
But it's just how I've always been. Like I love that. I love that adrenaline rush a little bit you get. But no, man. Yeah, I would say that's probably just the new environment and trying to get to know everybody and everything. Like that's probably what's made me the most nervous.
Yeah. Well, so you had your first dugout club meeting.
Yeah.
That's always cool because you get to see. Meet the families, and it really starts to give you a grasp on how involved everybody is.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of fundraisers and stuff, but at the end of the day, man, the support system is there.
That's
100%.
From day one I've been here. Like I said, Marshall County has shown me nothing but support and love, and like how they've shown up, and like the parent, all the parents have gotten to come up to me and introduce themselves and stuff, and it's been all the outpouring of support from them has been awesome, and that fires you up because it's what it takes. You have to have a set of parents that want to be involved and want to help, and because you have to fundraise to raise money to get the stuff. You have to do those things, and so when you can have involved parents, it's awesome, and I'd give props to little old Crittenden County. Not like that's what a lot of people see us as, but man, the group of parents I had there too, same way. Like they were nothing but supportive, and we got to do a lot of things. Our boys never got something they didn't want. Like we always would provide, and so, being here now and seeing that, it just makes me feel good because knowing how much support you're going to receive from the parents.
Yeah, it really is a good situation. So flashing all the way back, you said you love teaching the game. So I know whenever you were back home, you were starting to do lessons and stuff like that. Is that something that you're going to do down here?
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm very excited, and I want to get started in doing that stuff. I have always I've done them in the past, but I really just kind of recently started back doing my pitching lessons. And so like I will do I work on hitting and stuff like that too if that's something I desire. But really, pitching's my love. It's what I've always done. It's what I did. It's what I've studied the most of and dove into the most. And especially now I got this nice drive. I get to listen to a lot of podcasts. And so like
the show with Coach T.O.
Yeah, exactly. We're checking them all out. And,
there you go.
But David Cohn. Big fan of his, and I love listening to his stuff. And CC Sabathia is one of my favorite. I'm a Yankees fan, if you couldn't tell.
Oh, that's tough.
I know. I'm sorry. It's tough, but I'm a big Yankees fan. So it was. It's all those guys. Like I love listening to them and hearing their side of what they think and all that kind of stuff. And so CC Sabathia has one of my favorite quotes. It says, I actually have it on a T-shirt. It says like, "There's 50,000 people in the Bronx, and you know what? Don't start until I'm ready." And like having that mindset as a pitcher, like that's what it's all about. Like mano a mano, my best is your best, and I love working with kids and teaching them the fundamentals of things. And I'm excited to get to work and have a whole new set of kids over here that are ready and excited to get to work.
Well, I'm excited to get them for you, or at least help you. I know you've already had a lot of guys reach out to you, and I think if we can provide you an opportunity here, here's the thing, man. You said that you'll work with hitting if needed. I've always been one. If somebody asks for catching lessons, I'm like, no.
That's catching is the one. Hey, don't ask me for that.
Well, hey, even pitching with me though, I'm like, go see Kent.
Yeah.
Because Kent has always been fantastic. The closest to us. I'm like, you need to try. Well, I can't get in with Kent. Well, you ain't getting in with me because I don't do pitching. Like I can tell you how to do a wind up. I can tell you how to do a stretch. A lot of times when I find myself relating pitching mechanics to hitting and establishing a base and things like that, I don't need to be teaching you pitching. Like, I need to teach you how to hit. I can teach you how to field ground balls. I can teach you how to play defense. Let me teach you how to hit. Let somebody else teach you how to pitch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just like you said, like, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
But your passion is what? Pitching,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I would love to just be go see Devin, you know. And like right now, I'm not really doing any because, I've got a lot of life changes going on, and I'm trying to get my feet underneath me and stuff like that. But I will start doing hitting lessons and things again. But I hate not being able to offer pitching.
Yeah.
I tell you, the biggest thing that I'm struggling, I think I even mentioned to you, was softball pitching.
Yeah.
That is tough.
That's one that I don't have much expertise.
No, it's completely different.
It is.
It's
I've got she's 8-year-old. She'll probably get mad if I mess up her age. 8-year-old niece now, and she's getting all into softball, and she's swinging her arm around, and I'm like, I can probably help you hit a little bit, but I cannot help you with the softball pitching. I don't know. It's a completely different
You
ball
should
game.
coach a 9U Rattlers team.
Yeah.
A 9U Lady Rattlers team and coach her.
Yeah.
Is she good?
Yeah, she's good.
Okay, that put you on the spot there.
I'm going to say she's good. I've gotten to watch her. That's the worst part is, I haven't got to watch her a lot because they're playing. There was a couple of times where it worked out where, like, our varsity game was over and they were playing the second game. Yeah. And I got to watch her for a little bit. But, she plays everything right now. Like, she does basketball and cheer and, softball.
That's exciting.
It's cool. It's awesome. And she's getting into it and loving it. And so, I've told her, I was like, she sees me as Uncle D, not as a coach, so it's a little different for her. But, I've always told her, like, I will help you if you want it. But I'm not going to come up there and start telling you how to do stuff either, And so I'll always be there in your corner, but don't expect me to, I'm not going to be that, kind of guy. But I hope she really does get into it because I think she's pretty athletic.
Have you ever coached girls?
I have never coached. Technically, I was the golf coach at Crittenden County. And we had a girls team, but I had a guy that his daughter was on it, and he technically had the girls. But I've always said I would probably never coach the girls just because it's so different, and that's all I've done is coach boys.
Dude, I love it.
I've heard it's great coaching them. Like I heard they listen a lot more and everything.
It's just from my short experience that I've had over the last probably, I guess, 3 years, man, you talk about competitors. And it's just like boys. I mean, you're going to have some that compete a little harder than others and stuff like that. But I have a fantastic group of girls, and they compete their tails off. And, I mean, sometimes it manifests a little different. Like sometimes I have to be a little bit of a therapist in the dugout, keep the tears down, that sort of stuff. If I'm having to do that with the boys, we probably have a different talk. But, they hate losing, man. And, I mean, I hate to sound cliche, but, like, they just compete. Yeah. I mean, and they do not want to lose, and they take it personal if they get beat. And, I love it. I love it. The game is fast.
That's the biggest difference. Like they'll play like 3 games by the time we play R1. Like they're done with JV by the time we're getting off because of the speed.
I think that has been, one of my biggest surprises as a coach is how much I have loved coaching girls. And, now seeing like we've got a 12U girls team and a 10U girls team. It's just cool to see. It's the same thing, the same passion that I was talking about with the little boys. It's the same with the little girls, man. And now I'm so pumped. It's funny as you get older how your perspective changes. But like now there's professional softball. You know, in the past you had Olympic softball, but you didn't really have professional. So now I'm hoping that by having professional softball, now these girls will start to have a light at the end of the tunnel, and maybe they'll want to do that, Maybe not. Maybe not. But I remember the softball coach at Wren Lake, Dave Ellingsworth, legend, just got inducted to the Hall of Fame. He's awesome. He told me one time he came in, and we were just sitting there talking, and it's like 12 o'clock. He just comes in and sits in my office. He's like, the difference between coaching boys and coaching girls? I said, what's that? He goes, every single boy that walks in that door thinks they're going to play in the major leagues. He said 99% of the girls that walk in that door just want to come here, get their school paid for, and start their career.
Yep.
I'm like, fair enough. But either way, if they can get 2 years paid for or 4 years, they are more than capable of doing that.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's been cool, man. Like that's my rant on female sports. I've loved coaching the girls. But coaching's coaching, at the end of the day.
And that's what, I talked about him earlier, Chris Evans. When he left my staff, he went back over to softball because his son graduated and his daughter was coming up. And he was like, honestly, he's like, it was good kind of switching up and having a refresher just because he's like, the girls will listen.
Yeah.
He's like, boys, like, they're hard-headed. They think they know it, even, and like, you have to battle that. And he's like, girls, like, they're receptive to what you got to say. Like, and he's like, yeah, sometimes you got to nurse a broken heart or something like that in the dugout. But it's like, they're very receptive to it. And it's just something I've never done. And I've, baseball is my real passion. So it's always been there. But I've, especially with her, I mean, I'm happy to help her. And, it's funny going to the games and hearing all the cheers. Like that's I'm like,
that's a big difference.
I'm like, that's, we have the boys will say really weird stuff sometimes. And I'm like, what are we doing here? But it's like, the softball,
get ready
they got
for
all
that.
the cheers. Oh, yeah. Are they wild?
Oh, yeah.
They get rowdy?
Yeah. You've got a couple in the dugout. You've got a couple in the dugout that you got to watch them. They'll try to not keep it in the dugout. For the most part, 98% of them will do a great job.
You always got one or two that are, we did too.
Yeah.
You got to watch it. They're going to say some random stuff, and you're just like,
guys,
come on.
That is not supporting your teammate. What are you doing? But no, man. Yeah, it's exciting. And then I think, we're doing that fall league. We did the summer league. We rolled out of that. That finished last weekend, I think. We're rolling into the fall league now. I know you've got one team for sure, like the young guys, that freshman group.
Yeah.
They're going to put a team in, and then I think there's going to be an older group also. So that's
awesome.
exciting.
I'm excited to come and watch some of that,
Yeah.
and see that and get some eyes on them in a different light
Yeah.
too, because it's, like I said, even coaching them, like, that's a different perspective. Then it's nice to come and just sit back and watch them
for
from afar,
sure.
And like not be there coaching them all the
Yes.
time, but just getting to watch them play. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of times, and you know this as well, but we did like senior day stuff. They would always talk about like the bus rides, and
Yes.
like the summer leagues and the fall.
Yep.
That's they love that because they're getting to play free and play with their friends.
Yep.
They're like seeing that environment and watching them compete and stuff. I'm excited to get over here and watch some of that too.
Yeah. And that's you kind of said that, like it's for them to just go out and carefree and just play.
Yeah.
Just play. Some of them may play shortstop. They had never played shortstop. That kid's gonna play second base. He may play right field, but like these leagues are structured enough to where they're competitive, but they're relaxed enough to where the kids can go out there and carefree. And what I have seen, just some of the productive stuff. You'll see kids trying to steal third that would never try to steal third in a high school season, and it's like, they slide and they're like, holy crap, like I can actually do that, And so they're pushing themselves to a point where it's like they're establishing a new confidence that they didn't even know they had. Like, and I've talked about him a few times on here, but like we had a kid, Sully, our closer last year. I don't know if you've met him yet. Didn't throw a whole lot, and then he threw in our fall league. He threw in the summer league. He shoved. Then he ended up being our closer, like he had his own theme song, which
awesome.
was awesome.
Yeah.
And the guys rallied around him, and I'm not sure that kid has that opportunity to throw as much had he not built the confidence in those off-season leagues, And so that's a cool aspect of it that you don't really think about, but like. Travel ball is expensive, bro.
Oh,
like,
and
this is coming from somebody who runs one. Like, I know the tournaments are $1,200 to $1,800 a pop. So to get for a kid to play travel ball and to go and play PBR events and things like that, it costs a lot of money. Not everybody has that. Not everybody has the time. So like for them to be able to come and play in 2 leagues for like $300 or whatever it is, if they don't register as a team, it's $150. For them to play 16 games at least for $300, you can't you can't beat that, you know. And like in the fall, we'll typically try to do like a showcase event also. So we'll like try to bring Ren Lake and SIC and Shawnee and some of those schools to come in and just see them and bring them to Western Kentucky so that they're not having to go out.
Exactly. And
So
that's huge. That's huge, man.
Yeah, I mean it's all part of the equation, you know, and hopefully it continues to grow and get better.
So. I think it's great. I think, you know, anytime the boys can play more, and you know, the girls too. But any athlete,
that's right.
That's right. You know, plug them too. But it's like, I mean, you know, the more you can play and the more you can compete, I mean, it's only going to help you, because that's what's tough on a lot of multi-sport athletes is like they're competing in other things, but like the more reps you can get in game, like you're just building that. You're building that muscle memory, and you're learning. Like you said, you may learn something new. Hey, I may have never played right field before, but hey, I can roam and catch a ball. I got a good arm, you know, or I can still start here. I can actually do that. You know, those type of things you can build by playing. And so, building on that, I think it's great what you're doing, and I think it's only going to help, you know, more and more as they continue to, you know, as it continues to grow. Yeah.
Well, listen, man. I'm excited to have you in the community. Like I said, I'm very much invested my whole life in this community. I'm happy to have you. I think I feel comfortable. You know, as we progress to the next phase, I'm excited, dude. I think you're going to do a great job. I think you're going to make it even better. You know, I'm excited for the kids to play for you. I'm pumped, man, and I want you to know that I want you to succeed, and I'm here as a resource if you ever need me. If you don't want me, that's fine too. But I want you to do the best that you possibly can, and I'm here to help you however you need. And yeah, man.
Well, thanks.
It's funny because you're trading orange for white now, I guess, kind of. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're trading orange for black.
That's what I've compared it to.
Yeah.
It's like my grandma, she's like, well, what color are that? You know, and my grandma's, she's the best. And you'll see her. She'll be here every game. I don't care if I'm, you know, picking up sticks or something. She's going to be there to watch and support me. And that's how my family's always been. She is awesome. And love her to death, but she's like, what colors are they now? I was like, really, I'm just trading black for orange.
I love it.
A little Florida Gator vibe, which I'm not a huge Gator fan, but at the same time, I like the orange. I think it's cool.
Yeah, you ain't gonna like our orange uniforms then.
Well, I don't like the Florida Gators, but that doesn't mean their stuff ain't cool.
That's
right.
I
can rock with it. But,
that's right.
But yeah, no, I looked up Florida Gator uniforms because like I tried to model ours after Duke or one of those schools, just the blue and white. UK's were a little extravagant for our budget, but you know, they had like the cream outfits and all that stuff. But it was like Duke had kind of that blue and white vibe with and everything, and so I was like, I'm gonna look. I know Florida's those colors, and I was like, those are pretty cool.
Yeah, Graves had some sick gear. They went with the UK vibe. They got like a black top. They got cream. They got a blue top.
I'm all about the Dion. Like, you know, you look good, you feel good.
Yes, sir.
You play good.
That is what I'm talking about.
I love dressing. You know,
Let's go.
I'm all about some sweet uniforms.
Let's go.
So
hey.
I want to, and I feel like the boys respond so like they love
so
it.
Good,
you know,
dude.
like if you have cool stuff, you know,
yep.
It means something. You know,
yes.
it does. Like they feel good when they're heading out there. They look good. They play good. They get paid good. You know, it's awesome.
Oh, hey, you're speaking my language. You met Ron yet?
I've talked to him. I've not actually met him in person, but he introduced himself.
Ron Watson, shout out. He is the man. And hey, you tell him you want to look good, feel good, play good, he'll hook you up.
Yeah.
You know, you guys just did the Nike thing, so you might have to start transitioning to that.
Yeah, but I'm sure we will. We actually did the same thing at Crittenden, and so we were all of our uniforms were needing to be Nike and stuff. So I'm sure we will. But
he's the man. You got a good group, man. You got a good group of people around you, and I'm happy for you. Yeah. I'm proud of you. You're a young guy, and you're coming into an awesome thing, and I'm excited to see you moving forward.
Well, thanks, man. It means a lot. I appreciate you, and like I said, I will definitely be calling on you. And I'm excited what you're building here too, man. That's awesome. I think it's only going to help the game and help this area, not just Marshall County, like you said. I mean, there's other schools too, but obviously we want to help Marshall more than anybody else. But
That's right. That's right.
But at the
that's
same
right.
time, it's awesome to see. I love kids, and I love them getting into baseball and wanting to go to the next level and everything like that. So.
Awesome.
I'm pumped, and I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me on, too,
Yes,
man.
sir. Good luck.